everyone, I'm Dara Kay, and my name is Daniela. I'm from Romania. I would like to wish all of the finalists good luck in the competitions.
Hello everyone, this is Danesh from Plano, Texas. Congratulations on your TCO journey. Looking forward to meet you all in this year's virtual TCO. Good luck.
Huge TCO finals day. I'm your main host, Nick Castillo, but we are going to move right into the UI design finals, which is currently happening. It's the championship round. We have 2 members left. Only one comes out of the gauntlet. Let's join with Pereviki and Adroc so they can tell us.
Thank you, Nick. We are back. I am very excited. We are in the championship. This is the this is it. This is for the $10,000 UI Design Championship. Welcome back today, Pereviki. So, Vicky, how are you doing? What do you think about this this matchup that we have?
I'm great, thanks. It's amazing what is happening over there. So yeah, amazing things happening. I'm really excited.
So for everyone out there, the 2 in the championship are I Am Tong and Rajesh. So Rajesh, I Am Tong was our #1 seed, so he is where he is supposed to be in the championship. And Rajesh is our #10 seed, and he has been blazing a trail through the bracket, knocking out everyone. And he is now in the championship against I Am Tong. The last round that we just had, we've had 2 challenges already today, and I Am Tong lost, and then he had to win again just a few minutes ago against I Am Infinite, and then go into this competition. So the bracket has been crazy, and I'm going to kind of walk everyone through that here for a second. So if you're just joining us, we've been doing a tournament bracket style for the UI Design Championship. Started 2 days ago. So in our graphic here, we see day 1, day 2, and day 3. So day 1, we had our top 5 seeds. So our members that we seeded 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They had a bye, and then seeds 6 through 11 had to compete in the first problem. And then if you lost, you moved down into the lower bracket. So this is a double elimination tournament, essentially up until the championship. Because the unique thing right this minute is Rajesh has not lost. So you'll see him on day 1. He defeated Karm, so #10 against #7. Rajesh then went on to the next challenge and defeated Toto TPC. And then he got to relax while Toto TPC, while Toto TPC and everyone else moved down into the lower bracket. And then you see that Rajesh here on day 2 defeated Stark, so a #10 against a #6, and he was able to take another break. And you'll see that I Am Tong defeated Arif K on day 1, and then on day 2, I Am Tong defeated I Am Infinite. Here in day 3, we started out with I Am Tong. This I don't think this looks right. Oh, okay. Well, so anyway, I think the bracket may not look correctly here, but anyway, what we just saw was I Am Tong and I Am Infinite in essentially our lower bracket, and I Am Tong came out of that, and he is competing against Rajesh. So very excited about how this is going to turn out. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I would like to jump in and just see how they're doing right now. Like, let's jump. We're 9 minutes into the challenge, so I'd love to see what everyone is up to. And the problem that we have today is, one second. Oh, there we go. Here is Rajesh. So as I said, earlier, Rajesh has been blazing through the bracket, and he has been essentially beating everyone in the battles. This is his first TCO, so he is going up against I Am Tong, and I Am Tong is a 2-time TCO champion, and I do believe this is I Am Tong's 10th TCO. So it is a bummer that this is Rajesh for his very first TCO. He had to go virtual, but we'll see if he can in our next in person if he will make it to that. So Rajesh is from India, and we have I Am Tong from Thailand. So Vicky, just looking at what's going on here, what Rajesh is tackling, do you have any thoughts?
It seems like he's my brother working on these icons. I'm just amazed what he is doing and how he went through all these rounds, working his way up until the final round. It's really amazing. I couldn't even choose. I mean, I couldn't even tell you now which guy I would see the most as a champion.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I'm speechless.
Yeah. So what I'm always amazed at is what everyone tackles first. Okay. And so the problem for everyone out there, the problem that is our championship problem is what I call our gig vestor. Okay. So as someone who is in the gig economy or freelancer economy, you may be earning money from Top Coder or other platforms similar to Top Coder. And this application that we want to design is focused on how do you invest your money? How do you invest your funds for the future, for your family, for your retirement, for your healthcare benefits, things like that. So this problem, we're looking for a native iPad experience, and the problem is a gig investment plan. So as a designer in the gig freelance economy, you may not have spent time planning out your retirement or how to manage and invest your income for you and your family's future. In this challenge, we're looking to design an application to help novice investors find the best place to invest their money. The application would help new investors understand their options based on current savings, monthly savings, life goals, risk tolerance, and time targets. So the Gig Investor application will help a freelancer create an investment plan, which will consist of several options, global options like real estate, stock market options, portfolio options, and this advisor would help analyze what works and is available to them. So we're looking for a tablet experience, and we're looking for this to be for a newbie, someone just getting into understanding how all this works. So, financial information is hard to understand. There's a lot of rules and regulations. So how could an application help any of you out there who are Top Coder members or do freelance type work and help you plan your future and plan your investments? And so what we're looking for is the ability to see investments, to be able to share investment recommendations, a chatbot type maybe experience that helps guide the user, and then any details on these investments. So as we can see here, Tong's jumping right into it. He's essentially started this dashboard for Jane Snow, and it looks like he's looking at creating kind of this initial onboarding experience for this gig worker to probably ask questions and to know more about you, so the application could provide insights into your investments. Vicky, any thoughts on the problem?
I was thinking that I found it funny that that we work with a lot of financial institutions, like financial actors, and this application which we are looking into designing somehow it combines those challenges which we have seen many times on Top Coder, and somehow we are trying to work ourselves into it with the gig, with the gig economy idea that it's a little bit for us, right?
Yep.
I find this funny.
Yeah. Yep.
And at the same time, so this way, this is not. I would say this is not something completely new for them. So there is again this debate that is it easier for someone to design for a problem that he's a little bit experienced with or had already worked on, or is it something completely new? And I'm still thinking about this. That I'm not sure that it's easier to work on something that you already know because you have a lot of knowledge, and if you have a short time and you might make a mistake to try to employ everything into that one screen, it
Mhm.
might cause some problems to you.
Yeah, yeah. So when working on this problem, I'm obviously very familiar that we do work with financial businesses. So I had a similar thought. Would some of this be easy or hard for them, right? Because we have been kind of tackling similar type of investment scenarios, right? And products related to investing. But I thought the nice twist on this is really, how does this impact any of our members? How does this impact someone who is just learning or starting out and says, "Oh, hey, I do freelance. How do I save? How do I invest? Right? How do I plan and still live this lifestyle?" Right?
Yeah,
So.
great. That's a great idea. Do you see this coming alive? I mean, is there any chance that Top Coder would like to help the members?
Oh yeah. Oh well, yeah. So myself from a community view. So if you're not aware, my focus right now is working with Jesse and Harshit and Nick on the community team, and one of those aspects is how do we look at benefits, right? How do we help everyone and all of our members live a top coder, I would say, top coder lifestyle. So is there a way that we can based on participation in the community, based on, we need to figure this out. But how can we help fund something that would benefit you, right? That would benefit your retirement, would benefit your ability, So whether it's, I'm just throwing some things out here, but whether or not, say, you won something, you won a prize, and some of that went into your own kind of pool, and we matched it or something like that. So we would help contribute to any of our top members, all of our top competitors, and help them with their retirements. So
That
those
sounds
ideas are
great.
out there, and it's definitely something I would love to solve. It's not an easy solve, but I think if we put our minds together at Top Coder, we've solved a lot of things so far, and this is just another thing to go and try and solve, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So. Okay, so just looking at what we were seeing there, it looked like they were cruising along on the problem. Looked like Rajesh was definitely getting in there on the details, on the investment pieces of it. So that was pretty cool. If you want to get back to the bracket real quick, so I figured out I was the one confused. The bracket was correct. I kind of forgot that Rajesh has already beaten Tong today. So he's already defeated him once. This is actually a rematch. So that threw me off because I didn't think that they had competed. So the day actually started with our final four, and it was I Am Tong versus Rajesh, and it was I Am Infinite versus Yoki, and Tong lost to Rajesh the first time, and Tong had to battle I Am Infinite, the battle of the I Ams, as we were saying. And now Rajesh and I Am Tong are duking it out again. So very excited about this, and very excited for, Tong as a number one seed. As we saw his stats earlier, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing as a number one seed, right? He's supposed to make it to the championship. And a number 10 in Rajesh is, as I said, I think all of the judges are very surprised and excited by, number 10 being in the championship, and the great work and the great concepts we've seen over the last few days. Obviously from all of the designers, but obviously from these two being in the finals. Now, what's crazy here, and Vicky, your regional champion, and we had some of the members compete in that regional champion regionals with you. And what's crazy here is that when we do this bracket style, as a designer, you just need to win in that moment, right? You need to win against that member in that specific challenge in that moment, just to advance. So what kind of goes through your head on that, when just that aspect of it? I think you may be muted.
Sorry, I was. So I was thinking that, last year, for instance, on our very first bracket style challenge, I also started out, I think, on the 11th seed or something like that, and still I ended up on the second place. So it's just what we are keep on saying here, that you have to be there at that very moment on the 30 minutes or 60 minutes, and you have to beat that only one person who you are up against. So it's everyone has a chance.
Do you think about that? Like, say, like, oh, in this, I have to battle Tong now. Like, does that? Do you think
It's
about
stressful. Yes, I think. Like on the regionals, I had to, on the last round, I had to go up against Tong, and it gives another level of stress onto your head. Yeah, but we have to learn to live with it, as it seems, right? Because you guys are going to bring these brackets back to us.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm always up for changing and doing different things, right? So I right now, I really enjoy.
So I would be curious what the members now who have been already eliminated, what do they say about the brackets now? It would be interesting to ask them if they would like to keep it or go back to the old style. It's just a different kind of experience. For instance, I enjoy that I can work on different problems in a very short period of time. Like now they had 3 days, but on the regionals we have only one day, a couple of hours, and so that we have to switch our minds very quickly to something completely different. And I think that yesterday we have seen someone who was actually reusing his screens from the previous round, so it was a different problem, but still he used the assets from there, so he didn't have to change everything, which is probably a good idea. And what I was thinking, that it would be very interesting to put all those ideas together and somehow make it like a team session or a team kind of, probably not competition, but it would be again interesting to make teams and then have a battle of two teams of designers. That would be again an interesting situation.
Yeah, no, that would be. So it looks like we real quick, checking back on the stats. I kind of want to talk about the matchup here against Rajesh and I Am Tong. But Vicky, to your question, to your comment, yes, I'd love to get everyone together and kind of talk through this, and of course, even look at that from a team perspective. So on the matchup here, as I mentioned, I Am Tong. This is you're going to be his 10th TCO. He is our reigning designer with the most wins ever in design. So he's won prizes. So he's been paid, won prizes, a first, a second, or third in 578 competitions. So he's been doing this for a little bit, and he's obviously very successful doing this. So 354 first places, 187 second places, and 39 third places. And then he also does very well in the Rux and Lux competitions. And then Rajesh, he has been here for a few years, but he kind of comes and goes, and I know over the last year he's been very active in the community, and of course he made it to TCO20, and he's won or placed in 45 challenges since he's been at Top Coder. and he has done well in some of the rush challenges. So let's check back in on how they're doing. So it looks like Rajesh is, looks like his dashboard is coming together. He's bringing in some, looks like some information that will help any of you understand and do research. So some Investopia information. And it looks like this dashboard is coming together. Again, one of the things in these challenges we've been switching up is whether or not we're doing native design, so native iPad, iPhone, or we're doing responsive. So the designers also have to kind of switch that up, because not everything that would be, not everything that necessarily is native works responsibly, and some designs and interactions that you may create for a native application may not necessarily work the same for responsive, like how you use navigation, placement of navigation, things like that. So, Vicky, as you've read these problems and noticed these problems, has that aspect stood out to you? Do you notice kind of the switch between native and responsive? The ask, and do you have any thoughts on that?
As I am someone who still doesn't have her own design system and everything done, and I always tackle each challenge from the beginning, from a blank paper. I wouldn't be able to choose between the two, which one I would like to tackle, and which one I would be happier to work with. And recently I realized that I'm probably better at industrial stuff. I mean, if you remember the walk-on challenges, which where I was pretty successful, and now the NASA challenges, that is something completely different. And I have to realize that I'm probably not that good in dashboards and that kind of things. And those things, that so the industrial stuff is usually not native. At least what we have been working on, they were not native applications.
Well, so for writing these problems, that was kind of one of the things I wanted to, from a championship perspective, I wanted to make sure designers understood like what's going to be best for native, what's going to be best for responsive, and that's for me, I guess, a little bit of the twist in the spec, to recognize that and plan for that, even though these challenges are 30 minutes or 60 minutes, right? But to be able to quickly say, okay, well, if I'm doing this for native, these are the things I need to consider. If I'm doing this responsive, I obviously need to consider this in my grid and how the thing, while I may only be focused on one format for the challenge, it obviously needs to work in a responsive way. So for me, that was a little bit of the twist in the spec that could be a gotcha. Because I did notice in some of the previous rounds, there were a few designers that when it was responsive, it still looked like it might have been designed for native, right? So that's definitely something from a judging perspective I wanted to see if was caught and understood. Being that this is our championship, this is for $10,000. My goal with these problems is really to challenge everyone, right? And a lot of it is the history that all of you experience, the research you experience, the history of problems you experience at Top Coder, and how much do you bring that to the championship, right? And the ability to quickly say, okay, I have some knowledge in this space, or I have some experience in this space, or you knowing possibly that you might want to use a financial app to help you with your funds, what would be the experience you'd want to create, right? So very excited about the entire bracket, and of course the types of problems that we've brought up here the last 3 days.
All right, Nick here entering the stream real quick. I just wanted to take notice here. It seems that Rajesh is just blazing through with the speed of his design, just going all over his window here. It's just lots of movement compared to what we're seeing over with I Am Tong. Is that something that plays into this sometimes?
Well, so I mean, I'm not sure if it plays into it. What I definitely what we want to avoid is over designing. We also want to avoid, this isn't about three, four, or five screens. It's about did they solve for the problem, right? And so I have seen in the past where designers have created many screens, and it's almost like the effort should allow them to win, but they missed answering the problem, right? Mm-hmm. So I think the first thing as judges we look is, has the problem been addressed? Did they understand the requirements and address that? Or did they skip things? Or did they just put in more screens to show that, hey, I did a lot of extra work, right? So, I mean, I think for Rajesh, the last 3 days, he's been, very fast. And I don't know if, one, he just prepared well. He did he came in second place in our first bracket tournament where we had 30 some designers a few months ago during design month. So he came in second. I believe Yoki took first. And then he also did well in the regional, I believe. So I think he's been liking the quick challenges, and maybe that's being shown here over the last 3 days. And then there's I Am Tong. Looks like he's cruising along. He looks like he has an idea. And like this, you can tell like he has his left navigation. So this has an iPad 3-column, layout, left navigation, center column, right rail. We have our profile. So there's a little bit of kind of UI that's expected, and then the question is going to be, how is he solving the problem? I hadn't seen that other screen earlier, so I actually thought he just had the dashboard, but it looks like he also has a detail already created. The onboarding. So I think we're 30 minutes in, right? Yeah, it started at 11. So they are on the backside of this challenge. So 25 minutes left or so. Vicky, did you have a comment there?
I was just remembering last year that about over designing. You mentioned that I think Ravi was someone who really put everything into his screens, and that might have caused him some disadvantage. Ravi, our brand new live broadcast star from yesterday.
Yes.
And also, you know what I wanted to ask? We know that Tong is the most successful designer on the design track. Do the other tracks on Topcoder has this kind of structure as well? So do the other tracks have their stars? I know about Tourist, for instance, that he won 2 TCO, awards last year. How about the other tracks?
Yes. No, they definitely have their stars also. So Code Track definitely has our top competitors, and the top competitors that have kind of shown each year in the TCO. And then also, historically we've had our front end developers when we had the UI prototype. And then I do believe same with first to finish. So like the code, I can think of Sky _ I can think of Berta Preyu. I can think of Thomas, right? I don't know how often Thomas competes anymore. He's mostly co-piloting, right? But that's what also happens, right? The top become co-pilots, right? So no, there's definitely that's obviously what we want to see here at Topcoder is we want to see our top developers, designers, data scientists, and especially, in data science, we see the same thing. So in any of the marathon matches that we run for customers, we see top competitors consistently in there, and then of course in the SRMs and the algorithms. So it would be the same, if not, I would say more so, in because we have a larger, obviously, developer community for a community called Topcoder, right? So looking at Rajesh here, he is moving very fast.
This reminds me of the type race game, which we played on some of the regionals. That the developers, they are crazy how fast they can type.
So one of the things I did want to call out. So yeah, Rajesh has been a member since 2006, and Tong has been a member since 2009. So as I said, Rajesh kind of comes and goes. He joined a while back, but he kind of competes every once in a while. While Tong tends to compete pretty much most every challenge, right? But as we can see in the last year, Rajesh has really picked up his participation and has joined more. And of course, more of our design month and more of the regional type stuff. So I think if I was looking at, I think Rajesh, of all of our finalists, 11 finalists that competed over the last 3 days, he's been the member the longest. And then I believe Yoki would be the next one. And then I think we have a couple that are Tong 2009. So, and then everyone else is in the teens. So
Still, it's his first TCO only, Rajesh.
yes,
Maybe he will get the taste of it now, and
yep.
will work hard to qualify from now on.
Yep. So, Vicky, would we like to talk through the spectator challenge?
Yes, we could do that.
Okay. Would you like to explain what what the challenge was?
Yeah, just a second. So, the second design day, we ran another spectator challenge called Make It Better. And as the name suggests, it was about one of our problems in the competition. Just a second. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So this was our, I wouldn't be able to say which one round had this problem about the restaurants. Adam, could you please remind us and the viewers what the problem was exactly?
Which problem for the fun?
Yeah, the fun challenge, the restaurant one.
From
yesterday.
Okay, yeah. So the restaurant problem that we ran yesterday was essentially an application for taking in orders for employees at a restaurant. So in this time of a global pandemic, many people are ordering out, but you obviously cannot eat in the restaurant, so ordering out for carryout. And instead of this being the application that any of us would use to actually order, what is the application, essentially the point of sale application that the employees are seeing when orders come in, and how do they manage orders in the kitchen, and how do they get those things serviced and get the orders taken care of and out to essentially the curb to deliver the food, whoever's coming to pick it up. So the scenario I have for this in my head is like if you go to Starbucks right now and you do it to go, you go pick it up, but there's they have a machine there that's just spitting out paper tickets, and you have people running around, and whose ticket is who is, and so it's just chaos. So the problem was pick a restaurant, pick a food you like, and essentially what would be the employee experience of an application. And I believe we were looking for a tablet experience. Back to you, Vicky.
Thank you. And that's, and that is where the twist coming from, that many people can go into a wrong direction with this. Even in our round, in the TCO round, sometimes in the matchups, the decision has been made based on how much the solution helps the employees, or how much is it more like a consumer facing product. So let's see what our members who are not TCO finalists came up with. Okay, here is our first one. Here as well, whatever I have realized first, that we have a lot of pictures, and that is something that makes me feel that yes, again, the consumer facing thing, that probably an employee doesn't really have to see any pictures or anything like that, because they are familiar with their menu and everything. However, the screen, as I look at it, is pretty nicely laid out. It has a nice hierarchy and stuff like that. And then, what do you think about this?
The graphic, I want photos, I want to make this thing pop. It's food, like I want it to look good. But this is more of a utility app for the back office. This is a utility app for the kitchen, right? To get the orders in quick and be able to take action on those orders and get those orders out to the customers that are coming in to pick up the orders. So first off, I think design wise, this looks great, right? I mean, it's a 3-column layout. It's spaced, a lot of great white space, and everything looks good. But then you start looking at like, okay, well, the item list is good if essentially someone's calling in and you're taking an order. So maybe you just want to go pick those items real quick. But then this needs to be less of a menu, and this just needs to be more of an order management, right? So those are the kind of things that in the challenge we were looking for.
Exactly.
So who was this?
Great job. The thing is that I cannot share any names yet because we have to make a decision later. So no handles yet. However, whoever did that, I hope that he will come and or she, yeah, he or she will join many more challenges on top further because actually it looks great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was actually one of those challenges where one of the designers actually did an extra screen that they ended up advancing, but almost hurt them because it confused the judges. So it was like if they would have just had one screen, they probably wouldn't fine. But the second screen almost started to hurt their first screen. But as judges, we talked through it and we figured out what the intent was. But the second screen was similar to this, where like there's information that isn't needed in the ordering piece. So
so the member starts out.
Yeah, to your question earlier about too many screens or too much content, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it starts with a great flow, and then we end up somewhere where you don't know anymore where you are, or where you should continue. Okay, let's jump on to the next one. Definitely an easier, less pictures and everything. Let's see, Adam. What do you think about this?
Well, you did a great job critiquing it the first time. I see how it is. You're throwing it my way. See, I did that to Lynn and Trevor a few times. I'd be like, "You guys want to start?" And no, I know they're watching right now. So, but yeah. So again, there's a simplicity. So in an application like this, it needs to be simple, right? So I see my 4 pending orders. I see order time. I see the list, right? And then order detail. So again, it's going to be, in a restaurant application, you're going to see a lot of customizations. Like it's like, hey, I would like this, but I don't want onions, and I don't want this, but I would like this, right? So there's also like the key thing of being able to manage that too. So from a utility aspect, I think this is getting there. There may also still be almost a little too much detail so. Like the photo, I think in this would be great because it's going to tell the kitchen like right away. Like that photo is always this is what it is, right? So each menu item can have something that indicates to them that's what we need to go make, right? But then at the same time, it's understanding like what some of those the customization of those orders are in there. And then I think a key thing here is the order time. So that would be something I'd actually call out as being like bolded and bigger and saying like, we're behind, like our orders are running late, or, we're on time, or, like orders are getting completed, right? You have to start thinking about what does the employee care about, right? Not what the customer cares about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Because it's going to help the customer experience, right?
Yeah, and you're right about the visual cues as well, that even if it's picture, but it could be helpful as long as it's not huge and it just reminds, it's just a visual helpful element that would help the kitchen to see quickly what's going on there. Okay, let's see the next one. Wow. Looking at it, it looks good. I like it.
Yeah, so I mean,
however, yeah.
Visually.
We have statuses, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you.
Yeah, so again, like the status here is going to be key. So this is going to be key for obviously the front of the restaurant who's looking at the orders, managing the orders. It's going to be key for the kitchen to understand, like where are they? Are they behind? Those kinds of things. So, and understanding the queue. So I think graphically this looks great. I mean, this is a real clean design. I would say modern approach to the UI and icons and essentially the tablet experience. And I like how the customer note is in there, because that customer note is going to drive a lot of behavior. It's going to be like, hey, you got my order wrong last time. Please make sure this is correct. Or I don't like spinach, so make sure there's no spinach on that. Or so
Yeah, absolutely.
no, this looks
Yeah, I
great.
like it as well. It looks great. Yeah. So whoever you are who submitted this, we want you in our challenges. I'm about to run one, so you are welcome to join. Okay, let's jump on to the next one. Okay, we can see a little bit less complex screen. However, this looks good to me as well. Oh, I'm so tied to how to say. I have an eye for accessibility issues, which I can see only one here.
Okay, call it
However,
out.
no, it just the white on yellow, white text on yellow with the number. The contrast might not be enough. But probably
Okay.
there is in a restaurant you also have, like as you said, that everyone's running around, so you need great readability, so you can just look at it and just immediately you should be able to read everything you want to.
This actually looks like one of the designs in the challenge. 3-column layout, navigation on the left, center for the order list, and then the detail of that order on the right. So I do believe that's probably kind of a common order presentation, but I do think one of the designers actually had a similar layout.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe he submitted twice. He had time for this as well. Okay. So let's jump to the next one. All right. More like a native application. We also have a queue and times. But however, this submission had more screens, and I picked this one because that was the last is the next, or the last one. I think it had 2 or 3, and I was a little bit, surprised about the pop-up on the right side, so that we have ingredients as well. Would that go to the kitchen, or how the designer thought that it would be useful? Because probably it's not something that in a kitchen you would like to see recipes anymore. They should prepare everything by heart. But again, you have order details. But what I can see is, for instance, the status or something like that, how the order is coming up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
yep. I mean, I think again, this was meant to be, I think, more of a responsive app. So the native aspect of it would have been probably a ding, but I think just as a pop up, it would have worked fine. But again, nice 3-column layout. We have the ability to see the orders real quick. Click on that order and see the details. Now, again, I don't necessarily know if you don't need these as cards, right? Just list items, because again, the card aspect looks great to a consumer, but from a utility standpoint, it is not necessary. So
Yeah, I agree with that. And probably have order statuses under the pop-up. I'm not sure about that, but I had to choose one. Sorry.
Hey, Vicky, I'd like to cut back over to the championship. We have a few minutes
Yeah.
left here. It looks like we're coming
All
down
right.
to our last 10 minutes. So,
All right.
thank you for sharing those. I think we have more, but I definitely want to make sure we check in on how Tong and Rajesh are doing.
Yeah, let's do
And
that.
it looks like right now with Tong, he's I'm not sure. Did he rearrange his dashboard, or I'm not sure. We have to see what screen he's on, or this is the investments. Oh, this must be an investment screen. So Definitely looks like he's changed a bunch since 15 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago when we were in here looking. Okay. Wonder. Well, he probably should know that he has 10 minutes left, so he would be alerted at this point that he's down to his last few minutes. And then what do we have with Rajesh? Okay. It looks like he's creating that kind of onboarding investment flow. So as a freelancer, you log in or you sign up and it asks you those initial questions and what do you want to achieve with your funds. So it looks like that's what he's working on, the few simple questions.
That's a good idea. Good onboarding.
Huh. It's a fast copy paste, huh?
Yeah, now we are learning something again, right?
Yeah. Coming down to the last 9 minutes, huh? Very, very exciting. I hope everyone out there that's watching is impressed with the speed and skill that we're seeing here in such a short amount of time. So it looks like he's going to have 3 or 4 screens probably by the end of this. And checking back on Tong. Looks like he's still on that, looks like investment screen. I want him to zoom out. I want to see what else he has, but we'll see. We'll obviously see that here in a few minutes. But so far it looks like a nice layout and presentation of the information. So
For everyone who hasn't followed last year's TCO, Purtong, before the finals, he dropped his computer, which was actually broken, and that's how he had to, to participate the last round. And I hope that this time he didn't do the same thing.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I think like the corner was smashed up or something was smashed up, and yeah.
He had to put it on a book or on something to lift it up a little bit, the upper or the back part of it. Otherwise, it wasn't working or he couldn't charge or something like that. But if you think about it, it could be dangerous to use. So you never know what is being smashed or what is being broken. You could get electrocuted or something like that.
So I want to just let everyone know. So next steps here, the designers will be closing out their designs of submitting here in the next 6-7 minutes. The judges, the 3 judges, myself, Lynn, and Trevor, will go and take a look at the design, debate, and figure out who will be our first and second place. We will announce the champion tomorrow during the closing ceremonies, award ceremonies. So we will not be announcing that obviously today. So everyone will need to hold their breath until tomorrow to see who receives the $10,000 and can help invest in the app that they just designed on how to invest their $10,000. So goal would be to use this application to figure out what to do with that $10,000, right? Okay, so I think we are going to sign off here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in checking out our championship. Very excited about what's gonna happen here next few hours, and of course our award ceremony tomorrow. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Adroc and Pereviki, for those awesome comments about the designs and giving us a little bit of background on our two finalists here at the end. As I mentioned before, only one leaves the gauntlet. We're going to find that out tomorrow at the award show. Coming up next, we have the algorithm finals. We're going to have 9 instead of 8 due to a little mishap in round 1. So we'll have Neil Wu in here for for the final round. We'll have Ericto and Lewin coming up as your hosts for the final round. So stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.